Hey, I'm Wendy. Welcome to the RN for God show. As a trusted healthcare professional, a RN for the last 24 years, I want to help you to discover how to be healthy. I'm going to guide you through the myths, the facts, and the essential tips that you need to live a high quality of life. The Bible says in John 10:10, Jesus came that we could have life and have it more abundantly. And I believe that he meant for us to have that on earth. Let's dive in, learn about health strategies so that you can live that abundant, healthy life right here on earth. Hey everyone, yay! It is me. I am Wendy, and this is my podcast. So I wanted to welcome you and let me introduce myself. So like I said, my name is Wendy. A little bit of the things that make me who I am are that I am a disciple of Christ. I have been a nurse for the last 24 years. I am a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm an aunt, I'm a sister, I'm a friend to many people. But I have worked I've been a nurse, like I said, for 24 years, graduated from Delaware State University, HBCU, and God has laid it in my heart to share some of the knowledge that I have acquired over these last 24 years, specifically the last 20 years that I have spent in the critical care areas. So I've worked in the surgical ICU, I've worked in a general ICU, I've worked in a neuro ICU, and I currently work in a cardiovascular ICU. So having had these experiences working in these types of areas, I found that God has given me a gift to be able to break down medical terminology and information so that people can really understand it. And there is a issue that is called health literacy. So health literacy, Americans in general, we have a low health literacy. Persons that don't have any experience in the healthcare system, persons that don't have access to insurance, they are usually the persons that really do not comprehend what is being said. Now, yeah, people will shake their head, yes, and they will say yes. And then there's so much on social media that can give you not complete information. Some of it may not be true information. I'm not a real peruser, but I do come across some things and I'm like, that's not all of the information. So some of it is half information as well. So I want to be able to help uplift the health literacy in the Black community. So let me just tell you a little bit else. I like sci-fi, so I am a big sci-fi geek. I love 80s pop music, and I am officially an old school hip hop listener to the radio all the time. And of course, my gospel music, because I love to praise and worship the Lord. So the reason that I'm doing the podcast is to help you all. I want to help really Black and brown people, but really everyone, to be able to live to a higher quality of life, to understand when they get a diagnosis, what that actually means, how to live your life, the lifestyle things that you might need to change, and to live that higher quality of life. So having to talk about health, it's a continuum. So you're not always in one set area. So you can be on one end of the continuum and have illness and you're sick. And then you can get better from that temporary illness, and that could be a common cold, right? And then you get better and you move a little bit further down the line on the continuum to a state of good health. And health can be perception as well. So a person may think, oh yeah, I'm in good health because I walk every day. I don't take any medications and that kind of thing. But have you been to the doctor? Have you seen a doctor to make sure that you're okay? And granted, I am well aware of all of the things The reasons why we as Black people don't really like to visit doctors, we don't like to have studies, participate in studies and all of those things. I get that, but these are the reasons why a lot of information is missing about us. These are the reasons why there is no information on why do we get more cancers than anybody else. Oh my goodness, and I don't want to be emotional about this. But my mom passed away in January of this year from cancer. Now, I know that she got cancer because she smoked. She smoked cigarettes. And that is the number one reason for a person to get cancer. So if you smoking, stop smoking. Sorry. But we have to do better as a people. So there are other things that causes us to get health issues. We eat a lot of fried foods. We eat a lot of unhealthy foods. We do a lot of fast foods. We do a lot of preserved foods. We do a lot of foods that have high sugar quality, all of those things. And I know there is a big conversation about taking better care of our bodies, eliminating sugar and those types of things. So I wanted to just open up to you to start this podcast. I am a healer. I'm a healer in my spirit. I am a healer with my hands. I am a healer with my hands by meaning I take care of patients in the hospital. And I'm also a healer because I pray for people and I want people to be healthy. Because people are dying and they don't have to die because of lack of knowledge. And the Bible tells us that that God's people will perish because of a lack of knowledge. So I'm here to sound the horn. Hey, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was going to be emotional doing this. Okay, so I am blowing the horn, blowing the trumpet, and I'm letting you know I am here to help you to live to your highest quality of life so that you can live on, you can see your children grow older, you can die when you're supposed to die, like not at 40, not at 50, but when you are 80, 90 years old, when you are just go to home and go to sleep and you don't wake up because you wake up in the presence of the Lord, but not because you had a stroke, not because you had a brain bleed, not because you have renal failure and you can't get on a transplant list, not because of any of those things. So this podcast is about that. This podcast is going to be about me helping you to increase your health literacy. Yeah, I'm doing it for everybody, but for real, my focus is for the Black community because we are disproportionately at risk for most things. And I'll be talking about that more in depth. I want to discuss some myths, some truths, some half-truths about disease processes that are detrimental, debilitating, or could cause other health problems. So I want to talk about what we can do to help improve our communities. We can all do better especially if we use the each one, teach one, right? So what I look at is, as a public health official and as a registered nurse, I look at health as being able to run, jump, to not get short of breath, to be able to move all of your extremities, your arms and your legs, to be able to think clearly. So all of the things that we do every day, and excuse me, I'm going to drink some of my tea because I've been having a little cold. So this is one thing that I do to help me is some ginger tea with some lemon and honey. So that helps my throat. It helps to soothe it. But one thing we can do as a people is to start with ourselves and our household. And then we go from there to our communities. And then we reach out to the community next to us. See, when I was a little girl, I grew up in Philadelphia, and my aunt was a block captain. We used to have block captains and block parties and stuff. And different blocks had block captains, and the block captains would talk to other block captains to coordinate when they were going to have block parties, because that meant that they had to block the streets off and put their request into the city so that they can get approved. So that no one would not get approved, they would communicate with the other block captain and say, hey, which day are you going to submit? Because this is the day we want to submit. So we got to take that into consideration. So what you start in your home with you and your household, and then to your community, you communicate that to the next community over. So that way, as a community, as a people, one community teaching another community, and yeah, you might have to change it because every community is not different. You may have to tweak it here and there, and that's okay too. And even some things may not even work in your community because the people in your community are different. But the point is that we have to take control, and we have to know what we want for our communities. We can't wait for somebody else to do it. We can't wait for a handout, and we can't wait for a hand up. We have the power, we have the initiative, and we have the will to do that. Look at all of the things Black people have come through. Look at all of the things that we have done. So together, we will be able to do this. So stay tuned. I am the RN for God, and this is my podcast. Welcome. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Remember that your health is your wealth and knowledge is power. So like, share, leave me a comment, send it to a friend. And thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Toodles.